Good morning, all of you. I am going to discuss in this session on vapor absorption refrigerant system. That is what module 4. Okay. Yeah, that absorption refrigeration system consisting of the main components are generator, absorber, and that evaporator. Okay, these are the three components which will be existing in the vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, the vapor absorption refrigeration system should be consisting of the major component is absorber, generator, and pump. Absorber, generator, and pump. Okay, here that aqua ammonia will be used as a refrigerant system here. Okay, here the generator that it will be produces a ammonia vapor. Okay, ammonia vapor which will be rises in the generator. Then refrigerant vapor what will be generated by the generator, it will be contain some water vapor. Then the water vapor it will be absorbed by the rectifier. Here in the rectifier which will be absorbing the water vapor, that is a concentrated ammonia, the refrigerant which will be passed to the condenser. Here the condensation process will be taken place. Low temperature liquid ammonia vapor which will be passed to the throttle valve. Here that low temperature, low pressure ammonia vapor once again passed to the evaporator. Here it will be produces a cooling effect where we can absorbing a heat from this evaporator. Then afterwards here that is a uh, hot hot ammonia vapor, hot weak ammonia vapor. Once again it will be passed to the absorber. In the absorber water spare will be taken place. Here the weak liquid ammonia absorber vapor, it will be coming from the generator through a valve to the heat exchanger. Then it will be sprayer will be taken place here at the inlet condition of absorber. In the outlet condition of absorber, then it will be the mixing will be taken place. Hot weak ammonia vapor, that weak ammonia vapor it will mixing will be taken place. It then that weak ammonia vapor once again which will be pumped to the through a heat exchanger to the generator. This cycle it will be repeats here. Okay, this is what the vapor absorption refrigeration system. That vapor absorption refrigeration system which will be consistent, the major component is absorber, generator, and pump. Okay, here this generator is there. Here generator it will be generates the ammonia vapor which will be rises here. Then it will be rising through a ammonia vapor, it will be contain some water vapor here. In the rectifier here absorbing the water vapor in the rectifier will be absorbed with. That is a constant, the pure concentrated ammonia vapor refrigerant once again is passed to the condenser. Here the condensation process will be taken place. Low temperature liquid ammonia vapor it will be passed to the throttle valve. Then here low temperature, low pressure ammonia vapor once again passed to the evaporator. Here the absorption of it will be taken place. Here it will be produces a cooling effect. That hot weak ammonia vapor once again passed to the absorber here. That is a weak ammonia mixture once again through a generator, through a valve, to the heat exchanger, through a absorber. It will be sprayed like a sprayer will be taken place here. The spray amount of the weak liquid ammonia which will be sprinkle type of the spray will be taken place in the absorber. Here that we hot weak ammonia coming from the evaporator, it will be mixing will be taken place. That weak ammonia mixture once again which will be pumped to the generator through a pump and heat exchanger. Okay, like that which will be the working principle behind a vapor absorption refrigeration system. Here the vapor absorption refrigeration system consisting of more components which will be existing, more devices which will be existing. We are deriving the expression. So that's why we have to simplify the derivation very within a black diagram. Simple black diagram we have made it here. Based on this black diagram, we are going to derive the expression for COP of the vapor absorption refrigeration system. This black diagram which will be contains, that is what generator, it will be the temperature, operating temperature you can call it the T3, and the evaporator is there, operating temperature is T1, and sink is there, that is you can call the condenser, that operating temperature is T2. Here the refrigeration effect will be produces here. Okay, then that is a T1 amount of heat will be absorbing, that the Q1 amount of heat will be absorbing from the corresponding T1 source, and the Q3 amount of heat will be absorbing from the corresponding temperature barrier T3. Then these two mixing will be taken place, then it will be leaving heat, it will be leaving into the sink. Corresponding Q2 amount of heat is leaving into the sink to the temperature T2. Then based on this black diagram, I have to write down the COP of the system, that is what Q1 divided by Q3, that is a where so how much amount of heat will be absorbed in such a way that the cooling effect will be produced here. That means Q1 amount of heat will be extracted in such a way that it will be produces a cooling effect, that is you can call it a desired effect divided by work supplied, that is what Q3 amount of heat will be supplied, that is what Q1 divided by Q3. Okay, this is a simple expression what is based on the black diagram. Then we have to find out based on the entropy principle we are applied to the system here, based on this where the heat will be produced based on the corresponding temperature barrier. So that's why I write down here that the expression become Q2. This is Q2 is equal to Q1 plus Q3. Q2 is equal to Q1 plus Q3. This is you can call the expression number 1. This Q2 we have to divide it by with respect to the temperature corresponding temperature barrier. That means what? Q2 divided by T2 is equal to Q1 divided by T1 plus Q3 divided by T3. Then COP is equal to Q1 divided by Q2. This is you can call the expression number 2. This is you can call the expression number 3. Then instead of Q2, I can write down here Q1 plus Q3. This is what Q1 plus Q3. Q2 is instead of Q2, we have to write down Q1 plus Q3 divided by T2 is equal to Q1 divided by T1 plus Q3 divided by T3. Then I will write down that separately the denominator here. Okay, Q1 divided by T2 plus Q3 divided by T2 is equal to Q1 divided by T1 plus Q3 divided by T3. Then I'll write down here that is what Q1 divided by T2 minus Q1 divided by T1. That is a Q1 we have taken into the same LHS side. Then it becomes Q3 we have taken to the RHS side. That is what Q3 divided by T3 minus Q3 divided by T2. Then I will take a common term of Q1 here. That is 1 divided by T2 minus 1 divided by T1 is equal to Q3. I will take common term here. That is what 1 divided by T3 minus 1 divided by T2 here. That it becomes Q1 is equal to Q3 into 1 divided by T3 minus 1 divided by T2. It will be coming to the denominator. That is why 1 divided by T2 minus 1 divided by T1. You can take LCM here. It becomes T2 minus T3 divided by T3 into T2. Here you can take LCM here T1 and T2, T2 and T1. It becomes T1 minus T2. Then we have to make the cross multiplication. We have to write down here Q3 is equal to T2 minus T3 divided by T3 into T2 into T2 into T1 divided by T1 minus T2. Okay, the T2 and T2 it will be cancelled. What is the remaining term? I can write down here. Q1 is equal to Q3 into T1 divided by T3 into T3 minus T2 divided by T2 minus T1. Then I will write down here COP is equal to Q1 divided by Q3. Q1 divided by Q3 is equal to what? COP. COP is equal to T1 divided by T2 is equal to T3 minus T2. Okay, then I'll write down here this is T3 minus T2 divided by T3 and T1 divided by T2 minus T1. Okay, these two things which will be existing here. This is both the that is a Carnot cycle and Carnot refrigerant. Okay, this is what that simple explanation behind this Carnot vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, all of you can practice these things one by just a simple mathematics is there. You can all of you can once again you can practice. You can get the things here, the derivation of vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, here what are the advantages of vapor refrigeration system? Here vapor absorption refrigeration system. Yes, there is no moving parts in this refrigeration cycle. The absorption unit capacity will well above 1000 tons. Okay, it is very compact and require less space. Okay, these are the advantages of vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, then which will be having another one refrigeration system, that is you can call it a steam jet refrigeration system. Okay, the steam jet refrigeration system, which will be steam will be produces a boiler here, which will be connected to a steam nozzle. Then in this steam nozzle one side it will be connected to the flash chamber here. Then that steam nozzle, another one side, it will be connected to the condenser. It will be pump is there here. It should be leaving into the atmosphere. Okay, that is what is that flash chamber, that the cold water will be produced here. The cold water utilized for the some other work. Okay, here the steam jet refrigeration system will be only for we are using a chilled water where at a minimum cooling effect will be produced there, where we have to use this type of refrigeration system, that is you can call the steam jet refrigeration system. Here once again I can explain the working principle behind a steam jet refrigeration system. Here the steam jet refrigeration system, it will be consisting of a boiler. Here steam boiler, the steam boiler will be produces a high temperature, the steam will be produces, then it should be steam through a nozzle, it will be convert kinetic energy of the steam, it will be increases here. Then in the flash chamber, here the cold water is there, water return air, it will be sprayed like the cold water will be collected here. That's cold water, the evaporation of the cold water in the flash chamber, which will be the 1% of evaporation of water from in the flash chamber. It reduces the temperature of 6 degrees centigrade, reduces the temperature of 6 degrees centigrade. That evaporation of water vapor, once again it will mix it with the steam. Okay, steam. Okay, then it will be reduces the static pressure of the steam, which will be converted kinetic energy of steam into the static energy due to the mixing of evaporation of water in the flash chamber. 1% of evaporation of water in the flash chamber, it will be reduces the temperature of water at 6 degrees centigrade. That the chilled water, once again, what about this bottom in outlet condition, through that a cold water, which will be used for the different purposes. Okay, then that steam, that the static pressure of steam, which will be coming through a condenser. Here the heat rejection process will be taken place, then it will be leaving into the atmosphere. Then once again that steam, which will be coming through a steam boiler. In this way, that working principle behind that steam jet refrigeration system. Okay, in this steam jet refrigeration system is only we have to get a minimum where we have to get the cold air in such a way, such type of applications. Okay, minimum the refrigeration effect where we have to get in such a condition, we are using this type of refrigeration system. Here only thing is there, here in the steam jet refrigeration system, here we have to get a chilled water, we have to get a chilled water from this system. Okay, that is what steam jet refrigeration system. Okay, this is all about the refrigeration system. Okay, then one more topic is there here, the last bit. What are the properties of refrigeration system? Okay, ideal refrigeration system. The refrigeration should have a low boiling point and low freezing point. Okay, it should be non-inflammable, non-explosive, non-toxic, and non-corrosive. Okay, then it should have any bad effect stored material or food we want leaking the ocean in the system. It should give the high COP. It should give the high COP of the system, and also it is must have high thermal conductivity, and also it must have a high latent heat of vaporization and low specific heat. Low specific heat. Here the different refrigeration system is there. Here ammonia, Rayon 12, Rayon 23, Rayon 22, like that. We are using a different refrigeration system in the different applications. Okay, this is all about the theory aspects of vapor refrigeration system. Okay, okay. Now I can solve a simple problem on air refrigeration system. Okay, now I will read out this problem here. An air refrigeration system operates on Bell column cycle, takes in air from cold room at -5 degrees centigrade and compresses it from 1 bar to 5.5 bar. The index of compression being 1.25. The compressed air is cooled to 27 degrees centigrade. The ambient temperature is 20 degrees centigrade. The air expands in the expander where the index of expansion is 1.35. Calculate COP of the cycle. Quantity of air circulated per minute for production of 1500 kg of ice per day at 0 degrees centigrade from water at 20 degrees centigrade. Capacity of the plant in terms of kilojoules per second. Okay, take CP is equal to 4.19 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin for water. Okay, then Cp is equal to 1.005 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin for air. Okay, this is all about this problem. Okay, for the corresponding latent heat of ice is equal to 335 kilojoules per kg. Then we should know this air refrigeration system is there. Here the compression is there, 1 to 2 isentropic compression process. Okay, then 2 to 3 that the heat exchanger is there here. Here the heat rejection process will be taken place. Low temperature refrigerant once again pass to the expander here. Low temperature, low pressure refrigerant once again pass to the air. Once again pass to the refrigerant system where it will be absorption will be taken place here. Okay, this is what the TS diagram here. That is a 1 to 2 isentropic compression. Here the 1 to 2 is isentropic compression. It is a P1 to P2, the pressure it will be increases here. Then 2 to 3 expand constant pressure heat rejection process. Then 3 to 4 once again the expansion process. 4 to 1 the heat absorption constant pressure heat absorption process. Okay, then T1 is equal to minus 5 degrees centigrade is there, plus 273 minus 5 plus 273 it becomes 268 degree Kelvin. P1 is equal to 1 bar, P2 is equal to 5.5 bar, T3 is equal to 27 degree centigrade plus 273, it becomes 300 degree Kelvin. Then we have to write down here that is a T2 is equal to T1 into P2 divided by P1 to the power of N1 minus 1 divided by N1. Okay, this is a polytropic index. So they are mentioned it in the problem. Okay, compression index is 1.5, expansion index is 1.35, expansion process index is 1.35. Okay, both are different. Compression and expansion process index are different. It is very important thing here. Okay, we are using 1.25 while expansion process we have to use 1.35. That is very important here. Okay, T2 is equal to T1 into P2 divided by P1 to the power of N1 minus 1 divided by N1, it becomes 377 degree Kelvin. Similar way for the expansion process, T4 divided by T3 is equal to P3 divided by P4 is equal to N2 minus N1 divided by N2. But what happens here is that the expression it becomes same. Okay, P2 is equal to P3, P4 is equal to P1. Based on that relationship, we have to write down where the temperatures here. It becomes T4 is equal to 193 degree Kelvin. Then we have to find out the value of compressor work. Okay, polytropic work. Already we know this in the basic thermodynamics. This expression WC is equal to N1 divided by N1 minus 1 into R into T2 minus T1. Okay, we have to, what is the value of index value is 1.25, substitute the, and also the real gas constant value R is equal to 0.287 kilojoules per kg degree Kelvin, and substitute this value of T2, that is 377 minus 268, it becomes 156.4 kilojoules per kg. Then expansion process is equal to WE is equal to N2 divided by N2 minus 1 into R into T3 minus T4. Then what is the value of expansion work? The value of index N is become 1.35. You can substitute it here. The value of R becomes 0.287. Then you should the value of T3 is equal to 300 minus 193. It becomes 118.4 kilojoules per kg. Then W net is equal to W C and W. It becomes, what happens here is, okay, WC minus WE 56.4 minus 118, it becomes 38 kilojoules per kg. That is a W net work. Okay, refrigeration effect is equal to RE is equal to Cp into T1 minus T4, it becomes 75 kilojoules per kg. COP is equal to RE divided by W net is become 1.974. This is COP of the air refrigeration system. Then total heat removed, it will be total amount of heat to be absorbed either removed for producing 1500 kg per day of ice is equal to mCp into delta T plus m into latent heat of ice. Okay, that is a m, that is 1500. Cp is 1 point of water is equal to 4.18. Then delta T is become 20 degrees centigrade at initial temperature of water minus 0 plus 1500 m, that is the m is 1500. Latent heat of ice, they are mentioned it in the problem, 335. Okay, then you should get 62,079, 6,29,27,900 kilojoules per day. Then quantity of air to be circulated for ice production is equal to total heat removed divided by refrigeration effect in 24 hours multiplied by 60 per day. That is what per day. What will be calculated here? That is a 6,27,900 divided by refrigeration effect is equal to 75 in 24 hours in per day, multiply by 60. It becomes 5.814 kilojoules per minute. You have to get in terms of kilojoules per second divided by 60. It becomes what happens kilojoules per second. That is 7.27 kilowatt. Okay, this is all about the problem on air refrigeration system. Okay, now we are having another one problem is there here. That is a air standard refrigeration cycle. Okay, in an air standard refrigeration cycle, air enters the compressor at 1 bar and 10 degrees centigrade and leaves at 5.1 bar. Air enters the expander at 30 degrees centigrade. Find the COP of the cycle. Calculate the rate at which the air must enter the compressor to produce the refrigeration effect on 1 ton of refrigeration. Then based on this problem, I have to write down this data here. P1 is equal to 1 bar. T1 is equal to 10 degrees centigrade plus 273. It becomes 283 degree Kelvin. P2 is equal to 5.1 bar. T3 is equal to 30 degrees centigrade plus 273. It becomes 303 degree Kelvin. Okay. Then we have to write down the PV and TS diagram here. That is about 1 to 2 isentropic compression, 2 to the constant pressure heat rejection, 3 to 4 isentropic expansion, 4 to 1 once again the constant pressure heat rejection process here. Okay, here that is what the TS diagram here. You have to write down that T2 is equal to T1 into P2 divided by P1 to the power of gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. Gamma you can take 1.4. It becomes T2 is equal to 451 degree Kelvin. Similar way for T4 is equal to T3 into P1 divided by P2 to the power of gamma minus 1 divided by gamma. It becomes T4 is equal to 190 degree Kelvin because of P2 is equal to P3. P4 is equal to P1. Then based on that relationship, you have to write down this expression here, P1 and P2. Then the value of T4, it becomes 190 degree Kelvin. Then refrigeration effect is equal to Cp into T1 minus T4. That is what refrigeration effect will be produced here in the process 4 to 1. So it becomes refrigeration effect is equal to Cp into T1 minus T4. That is what 1.055 into 283 minus 119. It becomes 93.47 kilojoules per kg. Then compressor work WC is equal to Cp into T2 minus T1. The compressor isentropic compression in the process 1 to 2. It becomes Cp into T2 into T2 minus T1. That is Cp value 1.005. T2 is equal to 451 minus 283. It becomes 168.84 kilojoules per kg. Then expander work is there. WE is equal to Cp into T3 minus T4. That process 3 to 4, it is a expansion process. Then it becomes 1.005. 303 minus 190. It becomes 113.56 kilojoules per kg. Then W net is equal to WC minus WE. That is the net work is equal to 55.28 kilojoules per kg. Then COP is equal to refrigeration effect divided by net work done. It becomes refrigeration effect is 93.47. Net work done is divided by net work done value is 55.28. It becomes COP is 1.69. Then mass flow rate per ton of refrigeration is equal to MR is equal to 1 ton of refrigeration is equal to 210 kilojoules per kg. That is what we have written it here, kilojoules per minute. Okay, MR is equal to 210 into ton. 1 ton divided by refrigeration effect. 210 into 1 ton divided by 93.47 is there. It becomes kg per minute per ton. Okay, 2.25 kg per minute. Okay, this is what the mass flow ratio which existing per ton of refrigeration system. Okay, this is another one problem. Okay, now. Okay, here this problem with respect to the okay, I will stop it here. The next class I will continue for these two problems is there. I will whatever I can cover it based on my notes. Okay, all of you can copy my notes and observe my notes and practice my notes. Each and everything is available in the notes. Everyone should practice all the things whatever it will be covered in the class. Okay, good day. I will stop it here.